Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's 9 o'clock on a Monday, which means it's time for a 5x5. Now, that's when I take 5 topics related to magic. I spend 5 minutes talking about each subject. At the end of the 5 minutes, I move on to another subject. It's quick, it's snappy, you never know what you're going to get. We're back to the normal format of 5x5s this week. I've got a live performance with a commentary. I've got a sneak peek for you of an upcoming interview with an absolute legend of the British magic community. And I've got some performances as well. There is a lot coming up, and without further ado, we're going to get straight on with checking out a live performance of me. Now, this is when I was performing at House of Secrets as part of Ryland's run. I was his warm-up act, and this is me performing a multiple selection routine on stage. So you're going to see that performance, and then after the performance, I'm going to run the footage again with a commentary track. This is one of my favourite routines to perform. Let's have a look. You guys having a good time? Yeah! Should we do one more? Yeah! While I get you guys whipped up into a fever pitch, let's continue with this carnival-like atmosphere that we're creating, shall we? We're going to do a card trick. Now, you saw me and Ryland going around earlier on doing card tricks, and you probably saw us having somebody pick a card and try and find the card. You saw that, didn't you? We're going to go one step further. Sir, I love your body language. I'm not going to get me magic bullet and watch you give me Can you do me a favour? I've got to say, the thing that's making the show is your excitement and enthusiasm, so thank you for that. Can you give the cards a shuffle for me? What's your name, sir? Oh, good, that's a great name. Give the cards a shuffle, Craig. When you shuffle them, can you put them back in the original order, please, mate? It makes the... Great, he's not doing that, I can tell. Can I take the cards back? Thank you very much, Craig. Let's give a big round of applause for Craig. Amazing. Right, here we go. So I'm not going to get one person to pick a card. I'm going to get 5 people to pick cards. So I'm going to get 5... I'm going to try and find all 5 cards. Now, the boring bit is getting the card to pick. The interesting bit is finding them. I'm going to get the boring bit out of the way. I'm going to go... 5 people. I'm going to start with you in the corner, sir. Okay? Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to riffle down the deck like this. You're going to say stop. Wherever you say stop, I'll show you the card. We'll move on to the next person, okay? So, sir, in time 1, 2, big loud voice, say stop. Stop. That's wonderful. Can you remember that card for me? Very important you remember it, because later on when I automatically say, this is your card, if you go, I don't know, it loses its impact slightly. So please remember the card. That'd be good. Hello there, sir. How are you? Fine. Good job. If I'm not looking directly in the eyes, I'm not being rude. The light's bouncing off your head. And exactly, a laser beam. Isn't it terrible when we both came with the same haircut? Do me a favour, sir. Anytime you want to, just say stop. Now, by the way, when I show you the card, I'm going to look away because I don't want to get the reflection off your forehead. Obviously. Oh, nice. Distance. Nice. You come prepared, don't you? Say stop for me. Stop. That's great. Can you remember that card for me? Yeah. There you go. Burn it into your mind. Not literally, but you get the idea. Hello there, how are you? Good. Wonderful. You're going to pick a card as well, so it's a riff down the deck. Just say stop. Yes. There you go. Can you remember that card for me? Yeah. If you forget it, just lie and say yes. It'll make me look good. That would be amazing. Thank you. And you, sir, you're going to pick a card as well. You look delighted to be picking a card. Say stop for me.
Is this stop?
Joker, thanks very much. Maybe a little bit before we get to the end. We learn about people like you in magic school. Right. Anytime. Stop. So, now you sound like my wife. Okay, look, we'll do it again. Right. Anytime. It's funny because it's true. Just say stop. There you go. Can you remember that card for me? Yep. That's your card. Fantastic. Thank you very much. And last but by no means least, hello there, how are you? I'm Fred. Nice to meet you. Say stop. That's good. Can you remember that card for me? You got it. Very good. So 5 cards are being picked. I now have to find all 5 cards. As I find each card, it's going to get more and more impressive. And the applause will get louder until I find all 5 cards, at which point the roof blows off the building, windows explode, and we all have to go home. Now I'm going to go backwards, so I'm starting with you. I'm not being rude. It means I'm going reverse. That's all it means. I'm going to start with you. Watch to find your card. All I have to do is give the deck a razzle dazzle cut. You take the cards, you cut like this. You then take the card, you cut like this. You take the card, you cut like this, like this, like this, like this. You then take the card, you give them one of these, 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 one of these. I get one card only. I'm hoping, wishing, and praying that your card was the Ace of Clubs. Yes! You see what I mean about this all starting low? Don't worry, it does. Who was next? It was... Who was the card? That was you, wasn't it? Okay. Your card was not the Ace of Clubs, was it? Nope. No, but if I take this Ace of Clubs and flip it, something amazing happens. That Ace of Clubs changes magically into the 2 of Hearts. Spot on! Look at that! I actually picked the 5 5 cards in order because I need the 5 cards in order for the big finish, which means I'll need your ace of clubs. That's the one that went into my pocket earlier on. What the heck is going on with that? It's so weird. Anyway, so we've got the ace of clubs, we've got the 2 of hearts. Your card, you're going to find your card yourself. Okay. They're going to love you for this. They're going to carry you through the streets of Blackpool, screaming your name. It's going to be like a typical Friday night for you. Anytime you want to, just say stop.
Stop.
Wonderful. Be honest, tell the truth, don't lie. Was your card the 2 of clubs? No. And why'd you stop me there? It's fine. Watch the 2 of clubs. Don't blink. Watch that too. You give it a shake and in midair. That one changes into the Jack of Spades. Is that your card? Yes? Yes! Wonderful. 2 cards left. Hello there, sir. How are you? Good stuff. I'm going to take 2 cards out in the middle of the deck. The 2 I'm taking are the 10 of diamonds and the 5 of spades. I know they're not your cards. 2 down, 50 to go. It's a long trick. Watch the 5, watch the 10. Looks like this. You take the 2 cards, you wave them over the pack once, twice, thrice. 1 card appears in between them, 1 card only. I'm really hoping that your card was the 5 of diamonds. How's that one, sir?
Absolutely.
Absolutely! Thank you. Thank you, sir. Are you ready for the final card? You're born ready, weren't you? Right. Final card. Would you like me to find your card in 1, 2, or 3 seconds? 1 second. A challenge. Challenge accepted. Everybody watch the deck. 1 second looks like this. 1. Did you see it go? Yeah, that's when every single card in the pack disappears, people. Leaving 1 card and 1 card only. The 1 card that's left would be the 3 of clubs. Is that your card? That's every card. I found cards using sleight of hand. And I made the deck vanish using sleight of hand. But here's the thing. If I told you that 3.5 years ago I knew exactly what 5 cards you would pick in the order in which you picked them, would you believe me? That'd be impossible. So if I could prove that to you, would that be good enough for you guys to go proper crazy? Yeah? Look, here's the 5 cards. Ace of clubs, 2 of hearts, Jack of spades, 5 of diamonds, 3 of clubs. That's the order. You shuffled. You took 5 cards. This is the order of the 5 cards that you picked. I genuinely did know 3.5 years ago what these 5 cards would be. And to prove it to you, 3.5 years ago, I made a prediction, and around about the same time, I had a midlife crisis. See, 3.5 years ago, what happened is I started slowly covering my entire body with ink. Tattoos everywhere, you've probably seen that. And there's one particular tattoo, the very first tattoo I ever have right there on the arm is 5 cards spread out like this. There's the ace of clubs, there's the 2 of hearts, there's the jack of spades, there's the 5 of diamonds, that's the 3 of clubs, that's the 5 cards you picked in the order in which you picked them. And that is what's exciting is that's never worked before. So you don't want to know what happens if you pick a different 5 cards. That's what I'm saying. It's a totally different show.
So I think the first thing that we can talk about with this routine is that it's a perfect example of taking what is in essence a close-up trick and being able to bring it up on stage. Now, I'm performing here at the House of Secrets. It's not the biggest stage in the world. It's actually quite small and it's covered in Ryland stuff. So I wanted to do something that packed very small in this show, and I was only doing a couple of tricks anyway. So I opted for multiple selections, and I've done multiple selections so many different ways over the years. I've done it to 10 people, 15 people, 5 people, 1 people. I've worked on various different ways of doing the card control. But this is the way that I kind of have opted for right now. And there's a few things that I really love about multiple selections on stage. Now, this is a room of about 50 people this night. I think there's about 40 or 50 people there. And it's a great trick because it involves, in this case, 5 people. I mean, if you wanted to involve more, you can. You just have to get more people to pick cards. And that's really important. When you're doing a stage show, you want to be able to get everybody into the performance. You want to get everybody interacting with what you're doing on stage. And one of the ways of doing that is by getting different people in different parts of the room watching what you're doing. Because if different people in different parts of the room are watching what you're doing, you're kind of getting everybody in it. And that's what multiple selection does. Now, couple of things I want to point out. First of all, the control that I'm using is really just 5 riffle forces. And the reason I do that is because obviously for the final reveal, which we'll talk about in a bit, where I've predicted everything on a tattoo, I need to have the cards forced. So using a riffle force works for that anyway. But to be honest, if I was having 10 people pick cards and I wasn't doing a final reveal, I'd still do a riffle force in this situation. And the reason I would is because I don't want to go down into the audience and have 10 people to pick cards. I don't want to have 5 or 10 people come and join me on stage. Um, so by having cards picked by riffling, it allows me to get them to pick cards without actually having to go through the logistical nightmare of having cards picked and going into the audience and saying, can you pick a card? Can you pick a card? I don't really like going down into the audience very often when I'm performing on stage. I prefer to be on stage. When you're out in the audience's attention, if they can't see you, can kind of go away a little bit. So by being on stage the entire time, that's totally not an issue. So but even in close up, whatever situation, I really think that the best way to do a multiple selection routine is to do a riffle force followed by a false cut or a pass. Now, the other thing about a multiple selection routine is I think that each revelation needs to build, especially if you're not doing a finale. I do think, you'll see me in a bit having a tattoo reveal. You don't have to do a tattoo reveal. Before I had tattoos, I did this routine, but I had a big frame on stage. And when I finished the routine, I would have the 5 cards in my hand, and I'd turn the frame round and I'd show that it's a picture of me holding 5 cards. I think it's really important to do that. I think it's really important to have a finale like that, and you don't normally see that with a multiple selection routine. And the reason I think it's important is because it's kind of very samey when you're doing it. You're kind of like, right, I'm going to find all 5 cards. By the time you're halfway through the revelations, people know that you're going to nail all of them. And it becomes a little bit anticlimactic. So having that extra moment at the end that you've kind of revealed everything, I kind of think it's a little bit like Sixth Sense. It's kind of like they were convinced that something was going to happen, and then just at the very end, the wool is, the rug is pulled out from underneath their feet. And it really does have that really nice ending when you show that, in my case, it's tattooed on my arm, or however you want to do the final revelation, it goes. Now, the other thing that I'll talk about with the revelations is, like I said, each revelation has to build. Now, I don't have a set revelation that I do. It varies every single time. But one of the things that I will say is I like to make it so that the first one is a false cut, because I think that's the weakest way to reveal a card, by just doing a false cut. And I think there's much stronger ways of doing it, but it's still fairly impressive. So doing that false cut first is great. And I do like to involve the audience a lot of the time by having them pick cards or having them say stop or whatever it may be. It's also a nice time to do color changes. So if you've got some fancy changes that you can do, now is the time to do it, because when you're on stage, you've got all of the angles covered, which is really good. I like to throw at least a couple of color changes into the card revelations that I do. I think that's very, very important. But yeah, make sure, I think the most important thing here is to make sure that each phase builds. Now, the other thing is, you'll notice that I do a deck vanish at the end of the routine as well. And I've had magicians that have watched me perform on stage, and they've come up to me afterwards and they said, when did you get rid of the deck? Was it a gimmick? I literally just dropped the deck in my pocket. And I think it's having that attitude that's very important as a performer. I have the attitude of, I can get away with anything. I can do anything. I can get away with anything. So by having that attitude, ditching a deck in my pocket is totally not an issue. But understanding the offbeat and the onbeat is important. When I've made that, so I ditch the deck after the 4th revelation. So I do the 4th revelation, I ditch the deck, and then there's time misdirection between showing the vanish and actually ditching the deck. And I've talked about this before on the channel, but it's very important to differentiate the difference between the perceived moment of magic and the actual moment of magic. From my point of view, the actual moment of magic is when I ditch the deck in my pocket. The perceived moment is when the deck actually vanishes from their point of view. I want as much time misdirection between those points as possible. And one of the ways of doing that is by routining the deck vanish into earlier on in the routine. So I ditch it after the 4th card, and you'll notice that I turn my head. So you'll notice that my entire body is turned to the side, which allows me to just drop the deck into my left-hand pocket as I address somebody on my left-hand side. And then once I've addressed somebody on the left-hand side, I come back and I've ditched the deck, but now I'm going to go into the final revelation. So there you go. So hopefully some very important points there. I encourage you to do multiple selections. I really do. Whether you're a close-up performer on stage, I think it's really important that you actually do that. And yeah, hopefully you find this video useful.
Okay, so one of my favourite magicians of all time is a guy called Stephen Tucker. Now, Stephen Tucker was very well known in the magic industry, and a few years ago just disappeared from the magic scene. I'll be honest, I've been trying to get hold of him for an interview on Talk Magic for years now. No one seems to know where he is or can track him down. I know he lives in Malvern, but beyond that, I've got no idea. Now, Stephen was responsible for some of the best tricks I ever learned as a kid getting into magic. I always remember going to the Blackpool convention, and the first dealer stand you'd see would be Stephen Tucker, and he'd always have something amazing for sale, and it'd normally be in a jiffy bag with a sheet of printed instructions, and the guy was a genius. Now, before he vanished from the magic community, he bought out, he did some instructional DVDs and projects for Big Blind Media. And one of them is Twister. Now, full disclosure, I'm probably going to include this on the Hidden Gems at some point soon as well, because I want as many people as possible to know about the Twister Continuum. This is the Twister Continuum. It's by Stephen Tucker. He's actually on the project along with Liam and Owen from Big Blind Media. And this is, in my opinion, one of the best packet tricks that you'll ever see with a deck of cards. Now, it's a 1-hour tutorial. And it allows you to do a whole bunch of stuff. And there's like probably 8 or 9 applications. This is like one of my type of tutorials before I started doing those type of tutorials. And Stephen's an amazing teacher. I'm going to show you the main effect with this in a second. And this is what you're about to see is like the main effect, but it's not the only thing you can do with this. There is an absolute ton of stuff that you can do with this for sure. But I'm going to show you something really, really simple with it in a bit. But really, this is just like a mini review to highlight to you that these are still available and they are brilliant. If you've never seen them before, as I say, I will feature it at some point on the Hidden Gems. But if you haven't seen this before, my advice is to go out and get a copy. It's not that expensive. They've now updated the tutorial to be able to be accessed on a video online. There's full live performances, and it's just a really fun trick. So there you go. Let's have a look at the Twister Continuum by Stephen Tucker and Big Blind. Right, so I'm going to show you something with 5 cards. Now, I've got 5 cards. They're all red-backed, which is fine. This card here is going to become important later on, so I'm going to put it just down there to one side. I'll tell you right now, these are the 4 aces, and this is a very, very special card because this is all about poker and how you cheat at poker. And if you're going to play poker, you need 5 cards. So one card's going to go down there out the way. I'm going to use these cards. Now, the best way to cheat at poker is to use sleight of hand. I'm going to give you a demonstration of sleight of hand. I've got 4 face-down cards here. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try magically to use sleight of hand to make the 4 aces turn over face up one at a time. And the goal is to do it without you catching me, using my skills as a sleight of hand artist. As I say, we'll get back to that one a little bit later on. Watch carefully. This is the move. Now, you normally can't see the move. That's the move. It doesn't look like I've done anything. But what I've actually done is I've taken that first face-down card and I've turned it face up. That one there is the ace of diamonds. Now, you might have missed it, so I'm going to do it again for you. This time you know exactly what's going to happen. That's the move. It doesn't look like I've done anything. But now, check that out. We've got the ace of spades face up instead. So what I did with that move is I turned the ace of diamonds face down and I turned the ace of spades face up, and it all took place in 1 second. Let me do that again for you in case you missed it. Check this one out. Now all I have to do is this and give a little twist. And hopefully, with any luck, there it is. That's the ace of hearts. That's the third one. So again, what I did there is I took the ace of spades, I turned it face down, I took the ace of hearts and turned it face up. Now, obviously, this is a magic trick, but you can actually use these skills with sleight of hand to switch cards in and out in a game of poker. If you've been watching very carefully, you'll know the final ace is the ace of clubs. Watch, don't blink. That's the move. It doesn't look like anything's happened. But now, if I go through, you can see that's the ace of clubs. And again, I've done exactly the same thing, which is kind of weird, right? Now, here's the thing. I could do this over and over again. And, you know, I do this over and over and over and over and over. But the question you've got is, how does this help in a game of poker? Well, the reason it helps in a game of poker is because I can switch cards very, very easily using this technique. So if I take the 4 aces and snap, what actually happens is I've switched the cards. Now, obviously, I'd have a 5-handed game of poker here. I'd have a 5-card game of poker, but I've actually switched the cards. You see, this card over here is the ace of clubs. And now I've got the I've got the queen, I've got the 10, I've got the jack, and I've got the king. That is a royal flush in clubs, and that's why you never want to play cards with a magician. Okay, so I want to give you a sneak peek of an interview that's coming this Saturday. It's coming on Saturday on Talk Magic, and then it'll be hitting the Talk Magic podcast a few days later. And this is an interview with Alec Powell. Now, I'm very excited that I got an interview with Alec, and the reason is he's never done an interview before, ever. And for my money, he's one of the, he's a lot of people don't realise just how much Alec has done in his career, because he runs LB and Magic now, and you see LB and Magic at various different conventions throughout the UK, and you don't realise how much this man's done. He's won multiple awards with his Illusion Act. He had an incredible touring show called Amethyst. Not Amethyst, sorry, Amnesia. Amnesia, not Amethyst, totally different show. He ran his own circus for many, many years and toured with the circus. He's, co-founded and runs Kidology over here in the UK, which is one of the top conventions for kids entertainers. He's worked with people like Ken Dodd on tour. He's won the IBM stage competition. He's won various different comedy awards, and on top of that, he didn't even go full time until he was 40. And before that, he was he was in the legal profession. Like, it's incredible everything this man's done, and I'm so glad that I've managed to get an interview with him. It's coming on Saturday, but let's have a sneak peek. He's also very opinionated, like me, which is probably one of the reasons I love him. Let's have a sneak peek of Alex Powell's interview. It's coming on Saturday, and I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a good one.
People that are new in Magic that come into a dealer hall at Blackpool and they see the LV and Magic stand and they see you standing behind there, they don't realise everything that you've done. They don't realise that just a decade or so before, you were standing in the Opera House winning the competition, the stage.
Well, I've got to correct you. I didn't win the overall. I only won the comedy section, because people will take issue with that. I never won the overall thing. And, well, the point is, Craig, most of the things you talked about only matter to me. The fact that I've done this, that, or the other doesn't really matter to some young guy that's coming in and wants to be, Dynamo or what's his name? Can't remember names. No, I was going to say Darren Brown.
Darren Brown.
Yeah, so what I've done really doesn't interest them. And I understand that. And it's okay. I'm not known for being particularly... I'm not a good retailer, to be honest with you. I don't think I was cut out for retail. Joe Pasquale came and stood by the store. He used to buy bits and pieces off me, and he kept standing there. Do you want anything else? He said, no. I was serving away. And I said, do you want anything else? I said, what are you doing there? He said, I just love the way you talk to these people. And PJ and Shane, who helped me out at Blackpool, keep threatening to have some badges done that say, Alec Powell told me personally to F off. I got a low boredom threshold, I suppose. I really don't care how they do that trick. And they walk past and go, I say they, some magicians walk past and go, oh, look at Stanley, go, oh, I don't need any of this. I've got cupboards full of it at home. What are you telling me for? What? Do you go down Tesco and say, you see all that bread? You can stick that up your arse. I've got plenty already. You don't do it. But why did they come round? I don't need any of that. Well, clear off then. What? This is a museum exhibit. Oh, I'll tell you what. They show me that, and I go, you do it, and then they go. Now, what I do, so A, they're not going to buy it, and now they're going to show you, because they've already got it, what they do with it, and you don't want to see it because you're there to take money. So, yeah, I suppose I do get a bit irritable sometimes.
I've worked dealer stands, as you know, many, many years. And
honestly, and I've actually said this on the channel, by the end of Blackpool on day 3, I'm ready to headbutt somebody off the balcony. Like, if I have a single person turn around to me and go, "I'll come back later. I'll think about it."
Yeah, you go, no.
I might go postal and just snap. Like, seriously.
You feel like saying, look, just open your wallet, let's have a look. You haven't got enough money to buy it, clear off. No, no, it's very rude. And, I do have some very loyal customers who, they come and buy stuff off me that I know they don't want or need, but just because they like to help me out. I look poor and needy. But I I also have had enough by the end of the day. You coming to the show tonight? Nah. Beat the one. Go down the Ruskin. The Ruskin. There is a hell. I know. It's like hell. The Ruskin is welcome to hell. Or you hear cards being riffled. Oh, look at this. Look at this. And, oh, no. The last time I was in there, we'd get a glass, and 3 or 4 of us would stand. I don't know who was with me. Some wags anyway. We got a glass, and you get in the middle of the reception and just wait to get a bit quiet, and just drop a 50p piece in the glass, and everybody around you goes, "No, I don't believe it. What?" Suddenly you've got a crowd all around you. I'll tip it out and go, "Go get me a packet of crisps, will you?" No, Ruskin. Oh my God. I cannot think of anywhere I would rather be less. But there you go. People love it, so good luck to them. My first job in Blackpool is to find out which pubs are not being used by magicians, and that's where I go.
Right, guys, I want to talk to you about a trick I'm actually considering putting on the Netrix, but I'm not too sure whether I should or not. If you don't know what the Netrix is, it's my online streaming platform. We've got almost 200 tricks on there now, over 200 slides, loads of business courses, a whole bunch of stuff on there. And every fortnight, we upload another 5 tricks, which is why we're on almost 200 tricks now from some amazing creators. Anyway, I'm about to show you a trick in a second, and it just uses this one gaff. Now this gaff is really cool. Jamie Schoolcraft has got a version of this, and I've got a version from Jamie, which is amazing. This was actually made by Ronald Davis, who's an incredible coin gaffer over here in the UK. And it's basically a cross between a 3CM or a triple threat and a flipper coin. So it's a flipper coin with a double shell on top. And it allows you to do so many amazing things. And this particular routine is one of my favorite routines to do, because literally that just goes in the ticket pocket of my trousers or my jeans, and I can palm it whenever I want to. And I can go into like a 3 or 4 minute routine that's really well structured. The coins appear, you have a normal coins across, then you have a 3 fly, then the coins vanish and you're left reset, ready to go again. Now I've had some people see it and say they want to put it on, they want to see it on Netrix. But I don't know whether to or not, because it's not a common gaff. You'd have to contact Ronald Davis or Jamie Schoolcraft or somebody like that to have it made. And I don't want to put tricks on there that people can't do because they can't afford to buy the gimmick that's required to do it. So I want your opinion. I'm going to show you the trick. I want the opinion from Netrix members and non-Netrix members. Should I put this routine on the Netrix? Should I do a full explanation and break down exactly how it's done? Or should I leave it and not do it? I would love to know. Please let me know in the comments. I'm kind of at a dilemma at the moment. Okay, guys, I'm going to show you something with a piece of nothing. You can't see that because there's nothing to see. But if I take that nothing and just rub the invisibility off, it comes into a something. Now, that's actually a Morgan silver dollar. This is a beautiful coin. Now, you can see the coin very clearly because it's so big. I'm going to do that again. You see, I have another piece of nothing here. And if I just go back and forth, that's a second coin. So that's 2 Morgan silver dollars. That's 1, that's 2. I'm going to do this one final time, because all good things come in 3s. So the third Morgan dollar appears right here at the tips of the tips of these fingers, sorry. And that's 1, 2, 3 coins. Now I've got the 3 coins. Now I can do the trick. There's a rule in magic. You don't tell people what you're going to do before you do it. I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to make these 3 coins jump from this hand to this hand one at a time. Watch the 3 coins. All I have to do is touch my thumbs together, and when I do, that first coin jumps over here. See, it's now in this hand. What happened is the coin went up the sleeve, it went across the chest, it went down the other sleeve into the hand. The next one, I don't even touch my thumbs together, I just shake, and when I do, the second coin jumps across. That's coin number 2. Now notice, as these 2 coins are going across, at no point am I opening this hand. In fact, the hand doesn't open up until the final coin jumps across, which is pretty cool. But here's the thing. You didn't know what was going to happen, and more importantly, the coins were in my hand the whole time. So because the coins were in my hand the whole time, technically, anything could have been happening. So I'm going to do this one last time. I'm going to break the rule of magic. I'm going to do it one more time, but I'm going to hold the coins at the tips of my fingers. And this time, we're going to jump from the tips of the fingers over here to the tips of the fingers over here. You will see them disappear from here. You'll see them appear over here, and at no point will they leave your point of view. So watch. 2 hands, 10 fingernails, 10 knuckles, 2 thumbs, no sleeves, and I talk fast. The first coin goes from here to here. If I do this and this, if I do it fast enough, I can actually make that that first coin jump across. So we've got 1 coin over here, 2 coins over here. It started over here, it jumps over here. I'm going to do this again for you, but your job is to watch carefully. Watch this coin, watch this coin. This time, I just drop that, and when I do, the second coin jumps across. That's coin number 2. That's the second one. That leaves us with 1 final coin. Try and keep one eye on this coin. Try and keep one eye on these 2 coins. The next one, the final one, goes like, oh, it jumped back. Sorry, that can happen sometimes. Let me try that again. I'll put it here. Watch. 2 here, 1 here. And the final one looks like that, and that is all 3 coins jumped across. Which means that I need a big finish, and I can't think of a bigger finish than to make these coins disappear. Watch the first coin vanish into nothing. That's coin number 1. Watch the second coin vanish into nothing. That's coin number 2. The last one is the hardest one, but you know what's going to happen. I'm going to make that final coin vanish into nothing, hang it right there, and that is a miracle with 2 coins, 3 coins, 2 hands, and a lot of talking. So there's another 5x5 in the bag, guys. Thank you very much for joining me right here on Magic TV. Do me a favour, let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Genuinely, it means the world when I see comments in the videos I put up. It takes a lot of time and effort to put them together, a lot of scripting, a lot of production, and so on and so forth. And even though I don't have time to reply to every comment, I do read every single one of them. So, yeah, if you could leave a comment down below, that'd be great. Don't forget, if you want to join the Netrix, you can do so by going to www.thenetrix.com. If you want to know, let me know what you think about that coin trick. Should I put that on the Netrix? I'm really I don't know about it because I don't want to put up tricks that involve the use of gaffs that people might not have. But I do think it's a really cool trick. So let me know. And if you do want to join the Netrix, please try it out. We're putting so much time and effort into it to make it the best streaming platform that it possibly can be. I'll be back again tomorrow with another video. But once again, thank you so much for joining. I'll see you again soon. My name's Craig from Magic TV.